I would tell you a skeleton joke, but I don't think you'd find it very humorous. Well, we're back once again for the monthly unboxing and review / discussion, depending on whether I've seen the films or not, of the DVD and Blu-ray horror packs for the month of, what the hell month is this? July of 2022. That's the month. Where the hell has this year gone? I've lost all sense of time, it would seem. Regardless, as I always do, I have the monthly horror packs, the DVD and the Blu-ray pack. I'm going to open them up. We'll see what's inside. You'll discover at the same time as I do. I will discuss and share my thoughts, and hopefully we get some good stuff as we usually do. As a reminder, a full review of these films will be coming later. I do them 6 months at a time, and that's creeping up on us a couple months later. So make sure you subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss that. In fact, make sure you subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of my wonderful stuff. For those of you who don't know, HorrorPack is a monthly subscription service. They send you horror movies. You never know quite what you're going to get, but they always seem to pick good ones. They have a DVD option and a Blu-ray option. I get both of them. And if you get the Blu-ray option, one of them will be an exclusive, a HorrorPack exclusive that's maybe never been out on Blu-ray before, or last month there was an autographed version or something along those lines. And also, as always, I will be leaving links down in the What's It to where you can find these films in case you've not yet subscribed to HorrorPack and you want to see any of them. So make sure you do read said What's It, because in addition to the links to the films that I mentioned, I also put links to my other projects, including the Rocky Mountain Paranormal Research Society, and we're doing some interesting and exciting things there, so you want to make sure you stay abreast of the situation. And also the Do You Like Scary Movies podcast. If you're not getting enough horror here on this channel, I do my best to bring out as much as I can, but you can never have enough horror, right? So if you want podcasts, I have a podcast as well. That's also down in the What's It. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and open up these horror packs. The July, yes, I now remember the month, July of 2022 DVD and Blu-ray horror packs. Pardon me, Dr. McCoy, for bumping you. And we'll see what's inside. As I said, they usually pick good ones. There's pack number 1, but it's always a surprise. And, you know, every once in a while I find one I don't like, but overall, I have to say I've been very impressed with the horror pack packages. The selections are usually top-notch. There's pack number 2. So let's go ahead and open up the packs proper and see what wonderful horror movies we have for July. Okay, let's go ahead and start with this one. This is the DVD pack. I always start with the DVDs. And first out of that one is none other than Candyman. This is not the new one. This is the original Candyman, the Tony Todd one. We're off to a good start. You can't go wrong with Candyman. It's a classic. It's a classic for a reason. One of my favorite films. I'm not going to say my favorite. There are others I prefer, but among my favorite films, this is a great one. And of course, I do already have a copy. I don't think I have this particular edition, but I do have a copy. So that's the one downside to the horror pack, is sometimes you get a duplicate. But you know what? For the price and for the benefit of discovering all the other films that I don't already have and hadn't already heard of, it's still worthwhile. As I always do, I'm going to read the description just in case some of you don't know Candyman. I can't imagine, but just in case. The description says, "From the chilling imagination of Clive Barker, the original Candyman has become a cult favorite amongst horror fans." That's the truth. The gut-wrenching thriller follows a graduate student whose research summons the spirit of the dead. When Helen Lyle hears about Candyman, a slave spirit with a hook hand who is said to haunt a notorious housing project, she braves the gang-ridden area to visit the site. Helen arrogantly assumes Candyman can't really exist, until he appears, igniting a string of terrifying, grisly slayings. The police refuse to believe Helen's story and charge her with the crimes. Now the only one who can set her free is Candyman. Okay, that's a fair description. Of course, there are shades of the Bloody Mary mythology in this as well, so at some point maybe I'll do another video, yet another reason to subscribe, I'll do another video in which I discuss the Candyman mythology in the context of Bloody Mary and these other various games or challenges that people have tried over the years. But, like I said, we're off to a great start. Candyman is an excellent film. Next up out of the DVD pack, we have something called Cat Sick Blues. This is one that I am not familiar with. The cover looks fairly interesting. The little line on it says, "All he needs is 9 lives." It says raw and extreme, unrated, all of those magic words that make me rather excited about a horror movie. But like I said, it's not one that I know, so let's read the description. When Ted's beloved cat dies, it causes a mental breakdown. Now he believes that the only way to bring back his pet is taking the lives of 9 humans. So Ted dons vicious, deadly cat claw gloves and a creepy cat mask and goes on a murderous rampage. As the butchery escalates, a twisted romance blossoms between Ted and Claire, a young woman who has also recently lost her cat. Okay, I don't think I've ever heard that particular description of a movie before. And I guess this all just goes to show that you really can't trust those crazy cat people. But it does look, from the stuff on the back, like a fairly extreme film. It's a premise for a slasher that, believe it or not, I've not actually seen before, which is somewhat remarkable. So, I don't know it, I haven't seen it, but I'm looking forward to trying Cat Sick Blues. And next out of the DVD pack, we have one called Don't Let Go. This one looks familiar. It says it's from the producers of Get Out. I haven't seen it. I don't know anything about it. Something about it just looks a little bit familiar, like maybe I saw a trailer or something. Let's go ahead and read the description and see if we can figure out why I feel like I know something about this movie. The back says, "One chance to change destiny. Detective Jack Radcliffe gets a shocking phone call from his recently murdered niece, Ashley. Working together across time, they race to solve her murder before it can happen. Don't Let Go is a classic thriller with a supernatural twist from Blumhouse, the producers of Get Out." So it's a Blumhouse movie, which usually means good things. I'm not a complete Blumhouse fanboy, but I usually like the stuff that they produce. Like I've said before, I'm really fairly easy to please when it comes to horror. I like most things, and Blumhouse consistently puts out a reasonably good film. I still don't really know what it is about this one that looks familiar. I know I haven't seen it. It sounds interesting, so I'm also looking forward to trying this one. And finally, from the DVD pack, we have a film called Normal, the opposite of what I am. So let's see what the back says. It's another one I'm not familiar with. We'll see what the back says and see if I'm gonna like it anyway, even though I am decidedly abnormal. The back says, "Enter the mind of a serial killer. Moving through the neon-lit city is a man who looks just like everyone else. But when you find out what dark secrets lie within him, it'll be too late to see that normal is only skin deep." Okay, I should clarify. When I say I'm abnormal, I mean in a decidedly different way than where this is going, just to be clear. Carrying on, it says, "Michael Reed delivers a terrifying portrayal of a psychopath that will cheer you for years to come." I like a good serial killer story. I am interested in the psychology of serial killers and that sort of thing. I'm a psychology kind of a guy. In fact, one of my degrees is in psychology. And at some point, I'll have given away all of what my degrees are here on this channel, because I keep mentioning the various ones that I have. So maybe that's a guessing game y'all can play, is searching through the old videos to figure out which ones I've revealed and guessing which ones I haven't. Anyway, Normal sounds like an interesting film. It doesn't look like a terribly high budget film, and it's not one that I'm familiar with, but it looks interesting, it sounds interesting, and I am looking forward to trying this one as well. That's Normal. And that brings us to the Blu-ray pack, including, of course, the HorrorPack exclusive that we'll be getting to within these. But let's go ahead and see all of the wonderful offerings from the Blu-ray pack. The first of which is Anaconda. This is the original Anaconda from the late 90s, I want to say. Let's see. Yeah, the back says 1997, so yeah, late 90s. I like this movie. It's what it is, and it's nothing more or less than what it claims to be. It's a giant snake monster movie, but I like this movie. It's been a minute since I've seen it. In fact, it's been probably many years or now decades since I've seen it, but it's a fun movie. I'm glad I didn't have a copy of it. I've seen it, but I didn't have a copy, so this is nice to add to my collection anyway. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to read the description, which says, a documentary film crew headed by anthropologist Steve Cale and director Terry Flores ventures into the world's most isolated jungle, the Amazon, in search of a lost and forgotten civilization. I've written some horror stories about the Amazon myself, and there may be news about that coming sometime soon, so stay tuned. But the Amazon is a wonderful setting for a horror story because it is such a wild, untamed place, and there are such natural horrors there that it just makes a great setting for a horror story. Carrying on with the description, though, it says, early in their journey, they come to the aid of Paul Cerrone, a Paraguayan guide, who joins their expedition. But Cerrone is actually a poacher on the trail of a legendary snake. When Cerrone hijacks the boat and its crew on his quest to track and kill the giant snake, he steers the expedition right into the path of the deadly monster. Get ready for a wild, scare-a-minute thrill ride because Anaconda will grab you and take your breath away. As an anaconda might do, of course. Now, I should be the first to say, you really don't need to be afraid of snakes. I've said the same thing when I've talked about spider movies in previous horror packs, and go back and watch those videos if you want to hear my thoughts about spiders, but my thoughts are similar about snakes. You should know how to recognize the few that are legitimately dangerous, and then the rest of them are perfectly wonderful animals. Even anacondas, in fact, which are in the decidedly dangerous category, are not as frightening as people make them out to be. People are more afraid of snakes than they should be, and I like snakes, so I want to be a bit of an ambassador for our slithering friends. Nevertheless, like spiders, as I've discussed before, snakes do make wonderful horror movie monsters, and Anaconda is no exception to that. A wonderful film. Okay, kind of a B-grade film, but a lot of fun. I like Anaconda. This is a treasure to add to my collection. Next, we have a film called Countdown. The little tagline says, Death, there's an app for that, because apparently there's an app for everything these days. I don't know this film and I haven't seen it, but one of y'all mentioned in the comments to my previous video that this is actually a good one, so actually I knew that this one was coming. I haven't actually done a lot of reading about it. I haven't had a chance to really look it up, and of course I'm only opening it up now, so I haven't seen it yet. But I'll go ahead and read the description for you, which says, when a young nurse downloads an app that claims to predict exactly when a person is going to die, it tells her that she has only 3 days to live. With time ticking away and death closing in, she must find a way to save her life before time runs out. Okay, we've seen things kind of like this before, sort of like The Ring, where we have a ticking clock of death, but in this case it's an app instead of a videotape, so a bit of an upgrade for the 21st century. I guess The Ring technically came out in the 21st century. This century has gone too fast. We can't keep up with it anymore. Anyway, an upgrade for, let's say, the mobile phone age, or the information age, or the post-videotape age, or whatever we want to call it. I've heard good things. One of y'all seemed to like it, so very much looking forward to trying Countdown as well. And I guess it just gives us another reason to not trust our cell phones, because as Black Mirror has shown us, they're really kind of creepy enough as it is. And third, from the Blu-ray pack, we have The Invisible Man. This is not the original, of course. This is the new one, which I've heard mixed reviews of. I've heard reasonably good things, not entirely good things, but at least some good things. I haven't seen this one yet. I've been meaning to, so I'm glad to get a copy. I think we all kind of know the story of The Invisible Man, but just in case, and in the interest of completion, I'll read the description from this one as well, which says, trapped in a violent, controlling relationship with a wealthy scientist, Cecilia escapes in the dead of night and disappears into hiding. But when her abusive ex suddenly dies, Cecilia suspects his death was a hoax. As a series of eerie coincidences turns lethal, threatening the lives of those she loves, Cecilia's sanity begins to unravel while she desperately tries to prove she is being hunted by somebody no one can see. So, The Invisible Man. It's a great premise for a horror movie, and there have been some great film versions of the story over the years, including the old ones, the old classics, which are brilliant. And so, despite the fact that I have read plenty of reviews of this, I will do my best to put all of those reviews to the side and watch this with an open mind. I'm certainly looking forward to trying it because I do like the premise of The Invisible Man, and as much as I am a little bit tired of all of the remakes and I wish we would have more original stories, it is still a good premise and there's still plenty of opportunity for it to be a great film, so looking forward to trying The Invisible Man as well. And that brings us, of course, to the moment we've all been waiting for, the HorrorPack exclusive. Let's have a look and see what that is. It's exclusive number 73 according to the spine, and it is called Dark Tales from Channel X. And as is usually the case with these exclusives, this is not one that I'm familiar with. So let's read the description. It says, when an old TV set mysteriously turns on, babysitter Cassie is treated to a series of tales full of curses, creatures, and stalkers, presented by an enigmatic host known only as the viewer. So this seems like an anthology film. I have mentioned several times, so I'm not going to go through the whole rant again, but I like anthologies. I like anthology films. I like the opportunity to sample and try out some different things. A quote on the back from the Horror Society says, this is made for those who grew up watching titles like Creepshow and The Twilight Zone, which certainly describes me and probably most of y'all as well. So if this is anything like Creepshow or The Twilight Zone or Tales from the Crypt or Tales from the Dark Side or any of those wonderful anthology movies or anthology series, I think we're all in for a treat. Certainly looking forward to this Dark Tales from Channel X. And so there we have it. 8 brand new horror movies, some of which I've seen, many of which I've not, all of which sound wonderfully promising, so I'm going to go and start watching these. And while I do that, I think what y'all should do is, as I've asked many times before, please do subscribe, ring the notification bell, like this video, share it with your friends, leave me a comment, do anything and everything possible to help me grow this channel. That's my challenge for y'all. While I am watching these movies and y'all are doing all of those YouTube things, one other thing y'all should be doing is to take care and stay scared.